What's up, y'all? It's Kamikaze MMA coming back for UFC 322 breakdown and predictions. Let's get right into it. All right. Starting off with Vyacheslav Borshev versus Mateus Camillo. Tough pick for me personally. It's hard to pick someone who lost to Gabe Green by submission. It really is. But Vyacheslav Borshev has just looked so bad in his last fights. Since that draw he had, he beat James Longtop with the equal amount of strikes. So it's hard for me to pick him. The other guy's a grappler, so I gotta go with the grappler. I'm picking Mateus Camilo by second round submission, possibly a decision. Moving up, Baisangur Susarkayev versus Eric Mechanico. I'm picking Susarkayev by second round TKO, second round submission. I think he'll get either one he wants. Honestly, I don't think Eric Mechanico is good at all. So, moving up, Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. Fatima Klein is going to beat Angela Hill. Angela Hill is possibly one of the most overrated fighters to ever exist. I like Angela Hill. I like to see her win. But this woman almost has a 50-50 record. She has 3 more wins than she has losses. Fatima Klein has 1 loss, and she's coming off of 2 KO wins. How can you not pick Fatima Klein? If Angela Hill wins, I'll be happy, but I don't think it's going to happen. So yeah, moving up, Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. I'm picking Chepe Mariscal. Beat higher levels of competition. The only thing for me, though, is that he doesn't finish people. Pat Sabatini has a couple of submissions on his record, if I'm not mistaken. Submitted Jonathan Pierce and then Lucas Almeida, too, which are pretty good wins, but they're both kind of weak. They're both kind of weak people. And beating Joe Anderson Brito is very, very, very impressive. But Chepe Mariscal has just a better record. He does. I mean, momentum-wise, though, bringing Ricardo Ramos to a decision. I mean, dominating him's good. Bringing Damon Jackson to a decision is just, like, questionable. But I am going to pick Chepe Mariscal by decision. I just think he wins fights by decision. That's what he does. That's his life goal, to win a fight by decision. Moving up. I think this fight's 50-50. Kyle Dawkins and Gerald Meerschaert. Kyle Dawkins is coming off of a first-round finish against Michel Pereira. Very, very weird fortune. Like, it was very fortunate for Kyle Dawkins the way that went. I'm not saying it's an early stoppage. It was definitely a clean stoppage, but Kyle Dawkins is coming off of 2 KO losses before that in 2022. I guess he wasn't in the UFC or he just didn't fight for 3 years. But 2 KO losses in 2022, and then he comes back to the UFC and KOs Michel Pereira. That is impressive. That is. So I am going to pick Kyle Dawkins by first round KO. Gerald Meerschaert's looked terrible in his last fights. But this is a Gerald Meerschaert win. He just goes in there and he's like, I'm just going to win, I guess. I'm just going to win. So I am picking Kyle Dawkins, but I hope Gerald Meerschaert does win. Moving up, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cody Hatton. Now this fight. No. I'm picking Malcolm Wellmaker by first round KO. I do think that there is a chance that Cody Hatton could kind of just play the outside foot battle. Not really. Just play like on the outside, tapping low kicks, just boxing him up a little bit, getting out of danger. But I think Malcolm Wellmaker is just going to land a punch on him. And I don't trust that the vast majority of bantamweights can take more than 5 punches from Malcolm Wellmaker. So I'm going to pick Malcolm Wellmaker by first round KO. I think the first punch that lands, Cody Hatton's going to get like shaken up and he's going to start looking scared. And once he starts looking scared, then the fight's essentially over. But he can, if he doesn't get hit in the first round, I think he could win a decision. Moving up, Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. You know, Aaron Blanchfield's gonna win this fight. There's no question about it. But I really see a robbery. I see Tracy Cortez getting one takedown or something like that in the second round. First and third round, they essentially are even on strikes, and they give her a 30-27, even though Aaron Blanchfield won every single round. That's really what I think is going to happen, is they're essentially even. Aaron Blanchfield's like 2 or 3 strikes up. No one's landing power shots, obviously. Tracy Cortez gets one takedown in the second. Aaron Blanchfield controls her for the rest of the fight. And they're just like, oh, Tracy Cortez landed almost the same amount of strikes. We're going to give it to her. It's like the idea you have to beat the champ to be the champ. That's what they're going to do. They're going to give it to Tracy Cortez, even though she clearly lost. I'm going to pick Aaron Blanchfield because I hope that they don't do that. But that is what I think is going to happen. I think Tracy Cortez is going to get a robbery decision against Aaron Blanchfield. Like, one of the worst robberies we've ever seen. Also, this prelim card is exquisite. Besides Bo Nickel, this is an exquisite prelim card. Just gotta say. Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez is immaculate. Great fight. Great fight. I'm picking Gregory Rodriguez with an early second round TKO. I think he's going to drop Roman Kopylov after Roman's winning the whole fight. I think he's going to drop him. And Roman's going to be hurt. He's going to get back up. We're going to be like, okay. Saved by the bell, but he's good. We're moving on. And then the second round starts, and Gregory Rodriguez just starts right back, hits him to the body. Roman's body language just fully... 2 headshots, the fight's over. On the ground. Like, I think Roman will probably, like, try to shoot for a takedown. Gregory will kind of go to, like, backside control, back turtle, like side turtle, and then hit him with 2 shots, and the ref will step in. That's how I see this fight going. Moving up, Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. I'm picking Bo Nickel. He's more athletic, more explosive. You know, he goes out there to fight. If he's not getting kneed repetitively in the stomach and little shots. Rodolfo Vieira is just not that good. Like, honestly. He beat Tresean Gore. I don't remember the last time. He beat Armen Petrosi and Tresean Gore. He's not going to get a submission on Bo Nickel. If it takes what's his name? Gordon Ryan like 30 minutes to submit Bo Nickel, Rodolfo Vieira is not going to submit Bo Nickel. Okay? Rodolfo Vieira is not an explosive athletic fighter. He's a good grappler, but grappling doesn't mean much when you're going against one of the best wrestlers of all time. So yeah, I mean, it sucked. It is gonna suck to see Bo Nickel win a fight, but I am gonna pick him to win the fight. Moving up, Beneil Dariush and Benoit Saint Denis. Now, this is a 50-50 fight for me. This is the most 50-50 fight I think you could have. You have Benoit Saint Denis and Beneil Dariush. I think they're essentially even in every aspect except for the chins. I think Benoit's chin is a little bit better, but I also think that Beneil's power, his pop, is a little bit heavier. I think I've seen Beneil drop people more than I've seen Benoit drop people. And when Benoit drops people, it's usually with his body kicks. And he usually has to go to the grappling. I think what Beneil's game plan should be is take him down and do what Moicano did to him, essentially. I don't think Beneil could do that. And I think that Benoit's game plan is defend the takedowns and knock out Beneil Dariush. I think that those are going to be the game plans. Now, I think Benoit's kind of stupid, and I think he's going to go out there and try to grapple. And I kind of think he's going to get submitted. I don't know why. I just see Benoit like winning on the feet pretty easily. And then he just shoots a takedown, gets reversed, and gets submitted with like an arm triangle. That's what I see happening. But I also see Beneil getting knocked out uh by Benoit going left kick to a right hand. So it's a 50-50 fight for me. I don't feel confident picking either of these people, but I think Beneil has two ways to win, and I think Benoit has one way to win. And so that for that reason, I'm going to pick Beneil Dariush by second round submission. I think the first round, Benoit's going to be winning on the feet. Beneil's going to shoot a takedown. Benoit's going to defend it. Second round starts. Benoit, for some reason, shoots a takedown, gets reversed, and gets arm triangled in the second round. That's going to be my pick. I definitely think Benoit can get a first, second, or a third round KO. I also think if this goes to decision, though, Beneil's probably going to take that too. So I feel more confident picking Beneil. And that's the only reason I'm doing it. Moving up to the lock of the card. Well, I'll be right back. One second. the the lock of the card. We're going Carlos Prates by first round KO. Okay? The only reason this dude lost to Ian Gary, which I don't think he lost. I think that fight was a draw. I think the round 5 was a 10-8. Round 4 he won. I think it was a draw. I don't think he lost to Ian Gary. I think his game plan for the Ian Gary fight was horrendous. He didn't throw anything for 3 rounds. He just stood at range and let Ian Gary jab him for 3 rounds. Did nothing in the entire fight. And then after that fight, he's just been back on a tear because he's like, you know what? If I throw stuff, people get knocked out. So maybe I should be throwing stuff instead of just letting people walk into me. Like he barely threw anything. He threw half the punches that Ian Gary threw. He landed about half the punches as well, but he didn't throw. He didn't throw for the first 3 rounds. And then finally, in the 4th, he starts throwing. He starts winning. And then the 5th, he almost finishes Ian Gary. This is the lock of the card. If every time I have a lock of the card, though, they get knocked out. Every single time. So if Carlos Prates gets knocked out, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed off. But I don't think it can happen. I really don't. I think Carlos Prates is going to go out there. He's going to just start. It's going to be southpaw versus southpaw. So that knee's not going to be great. But I think what I see happening is Leon Edwards going for a body kick. Going for a body kick from southpaw with his left leg. And then Carlos Prates just shooting the right hand right down it and putting him out flat. Like, he just puts... you remember the Jorge Masvidal and the... who was it? I think it was a kickboxer. It was a kickboxer. It was the guy... there was... the guy who got knocked out was the guy Anthony Smith submitted. I can't think of his name, though. Vitor Petrino. The Vitor Petrino and Jorge Masvidal knockouts where they just, like, both, like, flat. So I think it'll be with his body kick. I think he'll be going for that body kick, and he'll catch him with the left hand when he's going for the body kick. Leon Edwards will go, and then just fall, like, straight down. Wait. No, like, yeah, so it is like this. Fall, like, straight down, just slumped out cold. Out cold. in the first round, first 2-3 minutes. That's what I see happening. I think Carlos is going to land one shot before that, and Leon Edwards is going to look scared, and he's going to be backing up the entire fight. Moving up, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. This is a tough fight, too. I don't exactly know who I want to pick for this. Sean Brady does not like getting punched. If you get TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad, you do not like getting punched. But there is something to say about... I've said this multiple times. When you're the same height or shorter than someone, it's easier to TKO or KO them than when you're taller. It just is. Depending on their style. It's easier. Because, especially with someone with, like, Sean Brady, Sean Brady's got, like, a high and tight guard, right? Am I tripping? He's got, like, a high and tight guard. He comes in, and then he shoots for the takedown. So, the only way I see Michael Morales getting a KO is with a knee. With a knee or with, like, a spinning heel kick. Something crazy. But I don't see him out. I see him outboxing Sean Brady, but I don't really think it's going to happen. I think the fight's going to start. Sean Brady's going to go out there, throw like a body kick, maybe move throw a body kick, move out of range. And then when I think Michael Morales will probably overcommit with something, Sean Brady will take him down and get a submission in the first round. That's going to be my pick. Not very confident, but that is what I see happening more than anything else in this fight is Sean Brady goes for takedown, gets the submission easy, and then that's wraps. That's wraps for Michael Morales' undefeated streak. But it is very, very, very likely that Michael Morales just knocks him out. It's very likely that Sean Brady gets a little timid. I mean, I don't really know. Has Sean Brady even been in there with like a knockout artist? I mean, Michael Morales really isn't a knockout artist. I was super high on this dude. Previous to, I think it was the Neil Magny fight. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, that is questionable because Sean Brady really hasn't fought a power puncher at all. So that is concerning. No, it wasn't the Neil Magny fight. It was the Max Griffin fight. I was high on him till the Max Griffin fight, but I feel like that showed a big hole in his game. I mean, Max Griffin is tough to finish, but I mean, if you're a knockout artist, you should be finishing Max Griffin. In my opinion, you should be. KOing Gilbert Burns and Neil Magny in the first round is pretty impressive. But Gilbert Burns sucks. Neil Magny's not that good. I think this is just such a jump up in competition. And Sean Brady did fight Leon Edwards. He did well on the feet. I mean, Leon Edwards literally went for a takedown on him. So I just think that he's going to get submitted in the first round. I think Sean Brady is that good. I'm pretty high on Sean Brady. I think Sean Brady is a top 3 welterweight currently. I think Carlos Prates is the best welterweight. I think Carlos Prates is the best welterweight. I think the second best is probably JDM, and then I got Sean Brady, then Islam. So a little spoiler alert there, but I think Carlos Prates is the best welterweight on the roster, which I know is probably a lot of people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" No, he's not. That's how I feel. Moving up, Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang. I think I'm going to be in a minority here. Maybe not, but I think I'm going to be in a minority. I think Weili Zhang is better in every realm of the fight. I think that she's probably going to hold down. She'll probably get 5 takedowns in this fight, and Valentina Shevchenko won't be able to get up. That's what I'm picking. I'm picking Weili Zhang by dominant Hamzat style, Dricus Toothlessy style grappling, where she just gets her on the ground, gets her into a bad position, throws a couple of shots, waits, throws a couple of shots, waits. I need some action. Throws a couple of shots, waits. Throws a couple of shots, waits. I think she's the only thing that's making me question my pick is how old Weili Zhang is. They're essentially the same age. They're 1 year apart. I thought Weili was like 3 years younger. She's not. She's not, which is kind of questionable. I think Valentina's striking is better. I think the grappling is leagues apart, personally. I think the grappling is leagues apart. Like, I've heard people saying that Valentina has a better chance of out-grappling. That's just not true. That's just not true at all. Alexa Grasso is a terrible grappler, and she out-grappled Valentina at parts. I mean, Manenfjord has shown that she's kind of, better than we expected. But, bro, Weili Zhang is different. Weili Zhang is the best women's fighter I've ever seen. Sorry. People are like, no, dude, Amanda Nunes, dude. She beat Chris Cyborg. She beat Megan Anderson, dude. What you know about Megan Anderson, dude? Yeah, sure, dude. She's fighting literal, I don't know. She's fighting brainless zombies, essentially. Weili Zhang finished Yan Xiaonan in the first round. She submitted Yan Xiaonan in the first round. The fight continued. Yan Xiaonan hit her with a good shot. Almost put her out with that shot. That was a good shot. But they should have stopped the fight. I was actually so pissed off when they didn't stop that fight. Because I was like, I was going for Yan Xiaonan. I was like, if Weili loses this, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be so pissed off if Weili loses this now because she finished her in the first round. She choked her out. Yan Xiaonan was standing back up like, well, I'm in a fight. Oh, shoot. She didn't know where she was for about 2 to 5 seconds. Like, she did not know where she was. She was out for a second that pissed me off. I think Weili Zhang's going to win this dominantly. I could see her getting a submission. Easily. I could see her getting a TKO in the grappling. That's not what I'm going to pick, though. I think the best thing for her to do is 30 seconds in of each round, try to outstrike Valentina. Be careful. Watch the head kicks. Watch her little fancy spins. Wait for a spin, and then shoot a takedown, get the back and submit her. But I think what she's going to do is just be very cautious for the first 30 seconds to a minute. Take down Valentina in the first. Dominate her for the first 4 minutes. Second round comes along. Valentina's a little tired. Same thing happens. Third round, same thing happens. Fourth round, she might get a finish. Fifth round, she might get a finish. But I'm not holding out for a finish. I'm not holding out. Now, moving on to the next fight. This is going to be a finish. This is going to be a finish. No one could convince me otherwise, except for Islam Makhachev. Except for Islam, no one can convince me that JDM will not finish him. Sorry. Bilal has a granite chin, apparently. Bilal was taking shots that I don't think any other welterweight could have been taking from JDM. We also have to talk about Islam facing low levels of competition the past year. He hasn't faced one guy where it's like, oh yeah, this is a good fight. I don't even know who he's fought besides Poirier and Renato. Yeah, he's fought Poirier and Renato in the last year. He KO'd Volk after losing the first fight. I think he lost the first fight, personally. I think if you have someone's back but you're getting beat up, I don't think that matters. And I don't think it matters to judges anymore. In 2023, the back was like, oh my God, this dude's dominating. Now it's like, if someone has your back and you're going like this and almost knocking them, not almost knocking them out, but you're getting good shots off while they have your back, you're winning that round. You're winning that round. You are. Islam almost got finished by Alexander Volkanovski. Almost got finished by him. Alexander Volkanovski trains at the same gym as JDM. JDM is bigger than Islam Makhachev. I don't know how you say his name. I hear people say his name different every time. Is it Makhachev or Makhachev? I don't know, but I hear people pronounce it differently every time. I just don't see a real route to victory from Islam. I really don't. I don't think his grappling is I don't think his wrestling. I think his jiu-jitsu is actually better than the vast majority of UFC fighters. I think his submission threat is one of the highest. But his judo is really good too. His judo is really good. But his wrestling really isn't. And I don't love his entries to get into the judo unless they're up against the fence and he's like, I don't see him pressuring JDM. I don't see the fight starting and he's just like on JDM trying to pressure him. I see JDM just getting in there. And if Islam does pressure him, I see JDM just switching out, getting out, bing, getting out, bing, getting out, bing. Just looking for little counter hooks, slipping Islam's jabs, slipping Islam's hooks, and Islam falls over himself. I honestly could see a JDM submission before I could see an Islam submission in this fight. Call me crazy. I don't see a path to victory for Islam unless he lands a lucky shot. Really, I really don't see a path to victory for Islam unless he lands a lucky overhand right, overhand left, something crazy, and puts him out. But genuinely, I mean, dude, okay, let's go over this dude's record fully. Let's go over this dude's record. Because I personally do think he's the GOAT of the sport currently. I do think that. Thiago Moises, who took him down. Then we have Dan Hooker. Got a nice submission over Dan Hooker. It's Dan Hooker. All right. Bobby Green to get a title shot. He KOs Bobby Green in the first round. Early stoppage, by the way. KOs Bobby Green in the first round. Charles Oliveira. Wow, what a performance. Shocked the whole world. What a performance. Best fight of his career by far. By far. Loses to Alexander Volkanovski, in my opinion. Alexander Volkanovski comes back with a broken hand and a fat gut and gets KO'd in round one after Islam's like, this dude is not blocking a head kick. I'm just going to keep spamming this until he gets knocked out. Beats a 36, 38, something like that, in that range, old Dustin Poirier by submission in the 5th round. Great submission. Good performance outside of every other round besides the 5th. I mean, he did dominate Poirier. It probably was a 4-1. It was probably going to be a 4-1 decision. Dominated Poirier. But it's 36, 38-year-old Poirier. You know, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. Gets Renato Moicano on 2 days, 3 days notice, something crazy. Kind of gets dropped. Kind of gets dropped by Moicano. Kind of gets dropped by him. He slipped. He kind of gets dropped, though. And then, dude, that's just not a great resume, honestly. I mean, I do think, the reason I think he's the GOAT of the sport, though, is the Volk win. I think that the Volk win, it does make him the GOAT of the sport. Because winning the first fight, even if he lost, I think it was the 3rd round that he had Volk's back. That's a swing round for me. Volk won the 5th, and Volk won the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. Islam won the 1st and the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. I think those are... I haven't rewatched it in a while, but I'm pretty sure those are the rounds that they each won. The 3rd round was the swing round. Islam controlled Volk, but Volk beat him up. Volk beat him up. It's like, yeah, cool, he had the back. He was getting beat up. He didn't do anything in that entire round besides take the back of Volk while getting beat up. So I think he lost that fight. But anyways, it was a close fight. It could have gone either way. It could have gone either way. Then he goes and knocks out Volk in spectacular fashion. Really good. Really good. Really good from him. He kind of just spammed 3 head kicks, and the third one, put Volk out. Put Volk on the surfboard. Other than that, though, this dude's resume is not great. JDM's fought better levels of competition. And I can't say that, okay? I can't say that. I'm actually taking that back. Both of these guys' resumes are not great. But Bilal Muhammad is a tougher fight than Moicano or Poirier. I think Charles Oliveira is... Islam's just a terrible matchup for Charles. Charles can't do anything unless people are scared of his grappling. And obviously, Islam's not going to be scared of his grappling. So, I think that's just a terrible matchup for Charles. Charles doesn't have a great chin either. JDM has an iron chin. He was losing that Gilbert Burns fight. That was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was last year, which isn't a great look. I would be way more confident in JDM if he wouldn't have lost that Gilbert Burns fight. But really, really and truly, what I see happening is first round, JDM's piecing up Islam. Islam can't get his takedowns. Islam's shooting, uncharacteristically. He's out of range. He's shooting for the legs, trying to get something. Second round comes along. Same thing. He's put... Islam, after the second round, is beat up. Beat up bad. The jabs are doing work for him. The body kicks are doing work for him. The body punches are doing bad work to him. Islam looks gassed in the second round. Third round starts. JDM comes out southpaw. Comes out southpaw. He gets a 1-2 combo. Body shot. Islam backs up against the cage. Body shot, uppercut both with the right hand. Backs up, left straight, puts Islam down. TKO, KO. That's what I see happening. I could, genuinely, what I could see happening is Islam going with a left hand, just looping over, trying to get something on JDM. And JDM backs out. Islam falls over himself, and JDM locks up a rear naked choke. I could see that happening. That's not what I'm going to pick. I'm picking JDM by third round TKO. But I could see him getting the submission. I kind of want to see him get the submission. And if Islam taps to a JDM submission, oh my gosh, would we be living in probably the best world ever. If Islam taps to a rear naked choke, absolute cinema. Peace.